So, hello and welcome. My name's Steve Nobel, and today I'm speaking with Sarah Armide on high vibrational living in difficult times. Sarah is a wellness and lifestyle revolutionist. She works with physical detoxing. She's an emotional healer, spiritual awakener. She lives in Australia, and her website is saraharmide.com, and there'll be a link going out with this podcast. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Well, it's really great speaking with you today, and I know we've had a little chat beforehand, and I know a little bit about your journey, which is really amazing, really. Could you share something about how you came into being what you are today, your work today?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Steve. It's my pleasure to be joining you here, all of you beautiful beings. So I've been on a pretty wild journey with my own body, my own soul, and it's been definitely a long and windy journey, and now I guide thousands of people through the process of cellular detoxification, which is purifying the physical body of anything heavy and toxic and dense, so that you can really start to access the truth of who you are and access the divinity that resides deep within every cell of your body. And so my journey started with becoming incredibly, incredibly ill when I was 22 years old. I was living in Manhattan at the time, working as a fundraising manager for huge not-for-profit charities, and my body started to completely break down. My hair was falling out in handfuls. I gained 20 pounds. I had acne all over my face, and I had identified with being a beautiful woman, and my identity was slowly but surely crumbling and falling into pieces, and it was an incredibly, incredibly terrifying time. And this is what led me into the most beautiful experience, and we are all very familiar with this, and it is called the ego death, in which the identity that you have built around you, believing that you are this mind and this body and this personality, and when that starts to fall apart, as it will inevitably, because we are not this mind and body alone, and they will cease to exist at some point. So at some point we all have to go through an ego death, whether that is the loss of a boyfriend, the loss of hair, the loss of beautiful skin, the loss of a job, the loss of money, the loss of a car. All of these things that we subconsciously and unconsciously build into who we think we are eventually start to dissolve at some point. And this is what happened to me with my physical looks. And so this sent me into a whirlwind experience in which I started to have multiple spiritual awakenings, because I was so upset, suicidal at times. I had been diagnosed with cervical cancer, polycystic ovarian syndrome, was facing all kinds of mystery autoimmune illnesses, and was just deeply afraid. And I found myself in excruciating pain, crying in fetal position on my bedroom floor, in so much inner pain that a split started to happen, in which I was actually able to zoom out my perspective and witness myself, my human self, from my higher self. And I was able to witness my human and all of her pain and anguish. And instead of being identified with it, I was actually able to simply witness it and see how beautiful and perfect it all was. Every single tear, every contraction. It was just pure magic, and from here on out, this just led to several more spiritual awakenings, in which I just became a lot more identified with this soul essence, this spirit, the higher self, and this way of seeing life, as opposed to identifying with the victim and identifying with the personality and, the personality within every human. It's so unbelievably limited, because what we truly are is infinite beings of infinite expression of the Creator. And when we start to tap into that, what happens is everything starts to transform around us, including our life, including our relationships, including our relationship with money and prosperity, and including our relationship with our own body. So ultimately what ended up happening is I really went through a huge healing. I left New York, I traveled to Bali, I moved to India, and then I moved to Thailand and Costa Rica, and I embarked on a complete spiritual journey of my soul, and just listening in every moment. What do I need to do today? Who do I need to meet today? and just kind of navigating the world as a newborn baby, just taking one step at a time. And to be honest with you, the first 6 months meant a lot of naps and a lot of crying and a lot of eating and all of these things that just felt necessary at the time of the unraveling of my personality. But after this, I emerged after these 12 months of traveling through Asia and Costa Rica. I really did emerge as a new being, and I felt deeply connected to myself. My body was healed, symptom free, and from that point I started guiding many people through the same process I had just been through.
Yeah, wow. So you've really been through the caterpillar to butterfly journey. I can resonate with that one, Sarah. But I see you now as a light warrior, really offering solutions to other light workers across the planet. And can I just ask you, what do you see is happening now on the planet? We're in a very interesting times. In the title of this podcast, difficult times. What do you see as a general? What do you see is happening now?
Well, a lot. And, from the mental perspective of the human mind, it can look like a mess. It can look like chaos. From the perspective that I'm seeing, it's absolutely fantastic, and we should be celebrating absolutely everything that we're seeing happen right now. And I can understand that perspective can be confusing for some, especially those who have lost loved ones to the pandemic that has been sweeping through. And I want to let any of those beings know that their loved ones have not died in vain, and their loved ones who have passed over now and have gone home are very much so aware of their role in this global awakening that is taking place right now. So just as I know as an emotional release worker with trauma and also a cellular detoxification specialist, whenever there's something that does not belong within the system, it has to first come up before it comes out. And so that means everything always looks worse before it starts to improve. And we see this with detox. As the toxins start to arise out of the cells, we get headaches, we feel sick, we feel awful. But after those few days pass, you feel better than you've ever felt before in your life. Same goes with trauma and emotional release. You're crying, you're angry, everything's coming up, it's so intense. But if you just sit in the fire with your emotions and you allow everything to come up to the surface, you will have a breakthrough and you will feel more calm and present and grounded within your own body than ever before. So I give this analogy to give you a perspective on what's taking place on planet Earth, because there's so much chaos arising right now in the field of consciousness within each individual, and also on the macro level within the collective human consciousness. There's so many different agendas, conspiracies, ideas, perspectives, so many polarizations of these different ideas of what is going on. And so the reason why this is such a great thing is that we can see that something is being deeply purified from Mother Earth right now, which is exactly what we want. Because the way in which society has been operating, there has been some fragments and distortions, and we're all feeling that, whether we are conscious of it or not. Our bodies are feeling it, our minds are feeling it. There is a reason why so many people live with such deep self-hatred or self-loathing or even just insecurity. There's a reason why so many humans live with fear crippling their every thought. And so we can see that we are somewhat disconnected from the natural law, from Gaia, from our great mother. And in order to return to this state of consciousness, which is much more connected to nature, we will need to purify any of the lower frequency energies on planet Earth. And that is naturally what is happening right now. So whether COVID-19 is, it's planned or not, it doesn't really matter. It is serving both dark and light purposes, but the light is winning, and COVID-19 it's serving a really beautiful awakening within so many beings. So I think that we should be deeply grateful for what we are seeing on planet Earth right now.
Oh, that's beautiful, Sarah. Thank you. So I guess a lot of people would love some advice about physical health, toxic living, the virus, 5G. Is there anything you could say around physical health, what help people in these difficult times?
Yeah, when we look at the physical body, we know that despite it appearing to be physical, When we start to understand the beauty of metaphysics, we see that everything is just atoms and molecules vibrating at a certain frequency. So anything that seems to be matter, such as a table, a car, or your physical body, is truly just energy. And so therefore we need to understand that everything is energy and everything is holding a certain frequency. And that means that whatever we are eating on a day-to-day basis is going to be having an impact on our frequency, which is our state of being, the way in which we are feeling moment to moment. So my ultimate advice on the physical level is, I understand we're moving through a lot and there's going to be times of emotional eating. We're all there. So remove any shame, normalize that experience. It's okay. But generally speaking, if you want to get on track of feeling really high vibrational and really feeling connected to your body, your heart, your intuition, then eating high vibrational foods is very important. So that is ideally a lot of plant food, a lot of fruit, a lot of vegetables, getting your body into sunlight and getting a little bit of sun on your skin, wearing those sunglasses and trying to expose large parts of your skin into the sun. And it's drinking purified water and, making sure that you're not taking in too many toxins and too many processed foods that are so complex and complicated for the body to process. The more simple you make it and the more you come back into contact with Mother Earth and the way our bodies are intended to function, then your mind is going to react to that. Your entire energy body is going to react to that. And that really will enable you to hold a higher frequency and build this potent force field, this very strong field of energy around you that is just your guardian. It is literally indestructible. Nothing low vibe can come in that, whether that's a person, whether it's an article, whether it's a fearful thought, whether it's something on social media. You literally just have this force field of protection that is just protecting you from anything that feels more dull or low frequency.
Yeah, so the collective at the moment is feeling a lot of fear, I think. The media's pumping it out. What advice do you have for someone feeling a lot of anxiety or fear, or even anger, perhaps?
Well, I think the first step is to really recognize that those are all valid experiences. And I think that we do have to separate the notion of fear from something like grief or anger, because fear is not an emotion. Fear is just, to put it very simply and bluntly, fear is an illusion. It is false evidence appearing real. It is something that is floating through the mind that is trying to trigger some kind of response and will have a very good impact on the emotional body. And it may create things like anxiety and frustration and anger. But fear is an illusion. And the more we can just witness them, the more we can just witness our fearful thoughts and create space and create this spaciousness to see that we are not that thought and that thought is not real just because it arose in that moment. Instead, we can just witness it and send it love and just say, oh, I see you and I can see you're afraid, but everything's okay, and just reassure ourselves in that way. And then simultaneously allowing ourselves to feel this full spectrum of our emotions, whether that's anger or grief or frustration. You are so allowed to have those experiences right now. There's so many different wacky experiences. It's so natural that you're going to feel the intensity of your emotions. And all I can say there is that the more you completely commit to feeling your feelings completely, edging in and leaning into them, even though your mind is saying, scroll social media or go eat something, put away all the distractions and literally just turn within and feel your emotions, express them. And in that process, what you are doing is you're entering the process of transmutation and alchemization, in which those lower frequency energies can alchemize and leave your physical vessel, and it will create more space for your true self, your bright light, and your soul's essence to merge forward with your consciousness. And that's going to feel so much better.
Brilliant, brilliant, Sarah. Thank you. Now, the media, as I mentioned, is pumping out a lot of stuff, and I know people who are actually sitting there listening to this stuff or reading newspapers or whatever. So there's a lot of negative programming, and the mind gets affected. There's a lot of conditioning and thinking going on that, of course, generates stuff in the body and stuff in the emotional body. What would you say, I mean, apart from just turning off the TV, what can we do to really improve our mental health?
Yeah, well, as you said, turning off the TV, and it's not just the TV, it's anything that's informing and indoctrinating our subconscious mind, which is 95% of our thoughts, decision making, and behavior. So the subconscious mind, it controls us. It really controls all of our decision making, pretty much, aside from the 5% of the conscious. And everything that comes into your field of awareness is having an impact on your subconscious mind. So that's not just turning off the TV or mainstream media. That's what type of music are you listening to? What type of movies are you watching? I know a lot of us are getting really pulled into the dystopian narratives of the Hunger Games and the Matrix and all of these things, because we're like, oh my God, it relates so much, it resonates. But at the same time, it's like, does it make you feel good to watch those things? Or is it providing a narrative within your own mind that something really terrible is happening and that a really negative low frequency timeline is going to play out? So it's the movies, it's the music, it's the people you're spending time with, it's the amount of content you consume on social media. You know, have you censored and filtered your social media, or are you following things that feel low frequency? So it's really doing the full cull of going down the list of your entire life and everything that your consciousness is exposed to. That's really choosing to lay in bed and meditate or journal before going to bed, as opposed to allowing any devices into your room. You know, so it's all of these little micro movements that we can choose the higher path of love, or we can choose to be hijacked by fear and really, you know, allow those distortions to take over us. It's all up to our choosing, and we're not always going to choose the higher path, of course. You know, there's going to be a blend of all experiences. That's very normal. But it's really important that we're not just getting sucked down and going down the rabbit hole and the wormhole and feeling really low frequency, because your frequency, you know, you are God. You are God on this planet, co-creating the highest timeline. And if you're sitting around in a low frequency, then you're adding to the lower frequency timeline coming into fruition. So we really do need to be taking care of ourselves in this time. It's very important.
Wonderful. And we should mention spiritual health. How can we really, in these difficult times, open to something deeper, more truer, more authentic in ourselves?
Yeah, and honestly, this is perhaps the most important part, because you can get all of your ducks in a row in the other areas, but really all of those are just the prep and the preparation for this part right here, which is connecting with yourself as a divine co-creator, extension of God consciousness, and experiencing this feeling of God or universal intelligence entering your body every single day. And so I feel that before you even get started with your day, you know, just sitting quietly, you know, not looking at any devices and just connecting with yourself and just dropping out of your thoughts and creating space for something very divine and sacred to enter your body. And as soon as you feel this enter your body, you know, it's kind of just like, it's a warmth, it's a hope, it's trust, it's love, it's gratitude. And, you know, we can access these higher frequency God states through just rattling off 3 things we're grateful for, or sending love to a being, you know, and just feeling that warmth within your body. It's literally just opening you up to connect with your higher dimensional self and getting out of the lower self, which is very much so rooted in lack, scarcity, fear. And so it really is as simple as just gratitude and prayer and love and joy, and just connecting with these states of being, however that resonates for you, whether that's in nature, whether it's sitting in prayer, whether it's in meditation. It's just creating space for those experiences where you are accessing a deeper part of yourself that does truly drop so much deeper than the human mind.
I think your work is amazing, and everything you've shared I totally resonate with. And I know you're going to offer the listeners a meditation for moving through these difficult times, staying in a higher vibration in these difficult times. So I'll pass it over to you, Sarah.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. If everyone can close their eyes, getting comfortable, feeling your sit bones anchoring into the chair, the ground, or if you can sit or lay directly onto the earth for this meditation, please do so. And if not, just find somewhere comfortable. Now starting to focus on your breathing. Fresh molecules of oxygen moving in through your nose, drifting back out through your nose. Sending this fresh oxygen, which activates your life force, your prana, your chi. Sending this oxygen all the way down into your lower stomach. Noticing your body becoming more and more relaxed. Feeling heavy, grounded to the floor beneath you. Your mind becoming still, calm, present. And as a single thought starts to arise, your only job is to lovingly shine your awareness onto that thought. And then gently coming back to your body, back to your breath, allowing that thought to dissolve into thin air. No need to give your energy to any type of thought right now. Contacting your body as the beautiful extension of Gaia, Mother Earth, our host, the one who loves us so deeply, gives to us unconditionally in every moment of the day. Now imagining a cord growing out of your sit bones and traveling down through the chair, through the floor, traveling down deep through all of the layers of the earth, dirt, soil, rock, penetrating the center of the earth. This cord wrapping around the center of Gaia. Feel the symbiosis between you two. The energy exchange as she begins to purify your energy field with white light. Feel your body gently start to release anything it no longer wants to hold on to. The soil absorbing the energy. purifying it, sending positive charged energy straight back up that cord into your body. The earth taking anything heavy, uncomfortable, every fear, anxiety or worry that's floating through your consciousness on a day-to-day basis. She lovingly takes it from you. And you start to become lighter and lighter, as though the energy field surrounding you is turning from dark smog into a crystal clear white force field of energy. You have now connected with the Earth's magnetic field. The pure, potent energy of unconditional love surrounds your body, moves through every single cell within your body. Your body is being flooded with white light, high frequency, energy that has come straight from your mother, directly from the core of the earth. And as you continue to feel this energy, feel the breath moving in and out of your body, feeling your life force bubbling up, growing stronger. Noticing any sensations you may be feeling inside of the body or around the body. Starting to pay close attention maybe some tingling, fluttering, vibrations, or maybe nothing at all. Simply welcoming whatever experience you are having. Knowing that it is exactly what you need in this moment in time. Now turning your awareness from the body back towards the energy field around you. Noticing that this energy field is becoming stronger, like white light surrounding you, force field of protection, pure angelic light. Magnetic for positive experience, repelling of lower frequency energy and possibility. Feeling the energy field grow even stronger and even bigger as it moves from 1 meter around your body to 10 meters around your body, perhaps even filling the entire room with pure light of the highest frequency. It's coming from deep within your core. It is the truth of what you are, and it is the fabric of which you are made. You cannot be separate from it. You are this light, and it resides within you at all times. Whenever you are feeling heavy, low, tense, or contracted, reminding yourself of your connection to the earth underneath you, reminding yourself of this light, this force field of energy that surrounds your body at all times. You are safe. You are loved. You are eternally supported. You are a child of God. Namaste.